Okay, so today in our class we'll be learning how to design a hybrid framework. In previous classes we have seen how to design a data-driven framework and how to design a keyword-driven framework. So what is hybrid framework? Hybrid framework is that framework in which you can do everything. Like you can use the feature of keyword-driven framework, you can use the feature of data-driven framework, you can use any feature you like. Means everything can be done in a hybrid framework. And in real scenario when you'll be working, you'll be using this hybrid framework only. So coming to our framework, what we'll be learning today is page object model using TestNG. So what is page object model? As the name suggests, page object model means there will be a specific object for each of the pages of the application. Let's say, for example, when I open this page, let's say when you open in Automation Run, the Flipkart will open in this way. So we can say that this is the first page for me when I open the application, that is the login page. Once this page got over, either you log in or you just click this cross, you will come to home page. So this will be a home page, means accordingly you go and search something else, like say you go to electronics and search for mobiles, then you will go to another page. So these are the each of the pages of the applications. So what we'll be doing in page object model is we will be designing the framework in such a way that each page will be designed in a separate Java class. Okay. Let's say, for example, now for the sake of designing, I'll show you the design of the framework and we'll automate a single test case. Similarly, you can automate n number of test cases according to your wish. Let's say, for example, for now, what I'll be doing is I'll be automating this scenario. Once I open the site, this particular screen will be opened. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just clicking the cross sign. So I'll not be logging in into the system. I'll be searching TV and clicking enter. So once I click TV and click enter, I'll just validate that yes, if I search TV, it goes to the television search list. This is the validation, and this particular test case I'll be designing for as of now. So let's learn what is page object model. So in page object model, you will be having 3 packages. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Let's say, for example, my first package, what it will consist of is Selenium generic functions. It will not consist of anything specific to the application. It will consist of Selenium generic function, which is independent of the application which you are automating. Like if you want to use this particular framework in another application, you can also use, and this particular framework will never change. This particular package will not going to change. Only these two will be going to change. So this is independent of the application which you are automating. Okay. So the first is generic library. So it contains Selenium specific functions. You can design framework in your own way also. It depends all on yourself. How you design, how you think, how you implement it, all depends on you. This is the basic idea I'm giving how to proceed with page object model. So what I have done here is I've created a generic library which will consist of Selenium specific function. Let's say, for example, my first class I have designed is for browser. So what this particular class intention is, it will instantiate my browser according to the value I pass in this particular, like if I pass browser is equal to Chrome, then my automation run will run in the Chrome browser. If I pass browser is equal to Firefox, my automation run will be running in the Firefox. If my browser is equal to IE, then it will be running in the IE. So for that I have defined here, means in this browser class I have defined, like if I set the value as Chrome in constant interface, then it will be opening a Chrome browser. If I'll set IE, it will be opening IE browser. If I'll set Firefox, it will be opening Firefox browser. So this is my first class. Okay. So we will learn how, see later on how it will be implemented, but only you know what is being done in this particular classes. So first class is this one, in which I have defined according to the like keyword Chrome, it will instantiate Chrome browser. According to IE, it will instantiate IE browser. If it is Firefox, it will instantiate Firefox browser. Then second one I have is a constant interface. So if it is a constant interface, I am just assigning the value. Like say, if I open Flipkart, the username and password in which I will be going to log into that Flipkart, I can mention it out here, and the URL which you want to automate, because you will be automating only a single URL, right, in real scenario. So let's say for example, I'll be writing the test case for Flipkart and I'll be automating the Flipkart page. So I'll be giving the URL value here. Then browser, which browser you want to automate, let's say Chrome or Firefox or IE, anything you want to give, you can give out here. Then this is a particular Excel live class. It consists of all the method which we have used earlier only while Excel handling and keyword driven framework. These all functions we have used in our earlier classes. Okay. Then this is a locator class I have created. Let's say for example, if I pass 1 and the locator value, so what it will do? It will be returning me by dot class name. Means if I want to, what it will return? It will return me a web element. If it will return me a web element, what argument I'll be passing is the numeric value. Like say if I want by class name, I'll pass 1. If I want to have by dot id, then I'll pass 2 and the id attribute value. Here 1 and the class name attribute value. 3 the XPath value. 4 the name attribute value. 5 the tag name attribute tag name value that will be passing. Okay. In this class, this is the particular functions we have used. So this will not be using much. Then I have the log class. So I have already told you how to log means our logs in a text file. I've cleared you it in the previous classes. Only that one is only implemented here. Same thing, log4j properties and everything what we have read in our previous classes. This particular Java class is only for logging purpose. Then comes screenshot. So what here I have done is, let's say for example, I have created a class screenshot and implemented iTestListener. This is a interface which is, you can say, is present in TestNG. So once you implement an interface, you must be knowing that interface contains abstract method, and which class implements or inherits that interface need to redefine all the methods that is present in the interface. So once you implement interface, it will give me all the methods that are present in the interface and I need to redefine it. Okay, so what I have done is, there are a lot of methods. I have just kept their body blank. I haven't defined anything. What I have done here is I have just defined the method on test failure. So what it will do, what code of lines I will write inside this will be followed once a test case get failed. If it get passed or if it get skipped, then these lines of code will not be executed. If it is failing, then only it will execute it. Similarly on test skip, if a test case gets skipped, then if I write anything here, then it will get executed. So it is like implemented by TestNG itself. You have nothing to do. It has already given us the methods, the method name. According to the method name, we can understand which method will be executed when. So you need not to worry, the TestNG have implemented by itself. You just, what you do, inherit the iTestListener interface using the implements keyword and redefine the method which you want to redefine accordingly. Okay. So what I have done is, here I have just written a piece of code which will take screenshot if my test case failed. Means if my @test failed, then only it will take a screenshot. If it get passed or skipped, it will not take screenshot. So for that, what I have done here, too simple. So I have created a string variable and I have stored the method name result.get method name. So what here it will do, it will return me the value of @test function's name. Let's say, for example, I have written @test public void test case 1. So here it will be giving me value as test case 1. Okay. The second thing is I have created an object of event firing WebDriver and passed the driver as the argument. Then I have created a file object and done ed.getScreenshot as output.file. This is the particular syntax to capture the file in a file object. Okay. Then I have created a variable timestamp in which I have used the Java function simple date time format and retrieve the current date time for month and the hours using the Java functions. Okay. Once I retrieve it, I get the current date, time, month, year, everything will get. Okay. So what I have done is then I have created a file object and I have given the destination where my screenshot will be saved, and I have just concatenated this timestamp so that each screenshot which is generated don't get overwritten, because once I do this, every time a unique value will be created and that particular value will be stored as my file name, so that no screenshot will be overwritten. Every screenshot will be present separately. Okay. Then I have used the function fileutils.copy src to destination. So this piece of code will help me to capture a screenshot, and when it will be captured on when a @test fails. Then I have WebDriver common lib. See here I have implemented wait for element. This is, you can say, your what explicit wait. It is verified text I have used. I've used alert accept. You can here it will accept the alert. Here it will cancel the alert. You just call this method. Where you see alert is coming, you just call alert accept. You did not to write these 2 lines of code again. That's why the method is created. What I have earlier told, framework is just a set of functions which reduce our lines of code. Okay. So cancel alert also, you did not have to write 2 lines of code. You just call this cancel alert 1 line, then it will do it to work. Okay. So this is the case. Similarly, there are a lot of functions inside this which are specific to Selenium. Select function for drop down, then click and hold action function for mouse. Then you have double clicks. Every functions you have. Okay. All these are Selenium specific function. So what here it will do? You just call one single method. That's it. A single line of code will do rather than writing 2 lines of code. Okay. Then we come to our second package. Now what this second package contains? This second package contains Java classes for each of the pages of the applications. Okay, let's say for example, my first page when I open Flipkart will be login. This will be my first page. So I will write a class for this particular page which consists of all the locators present in this page and all the function which can be done in this page. Okay. Let's say I'm opening the page. So what I can do here is, so in page object model also, when you define a locator, you will define by using @findby. Okay, @findby you'll be using. So once you, these 2 line of code will be defining my web element. Okay, so private, you have to give the web element name here which you want to access, and the locator value here, and the locator type like XPath, or you want to name. If you want by name, by dot name, give the name attribute value. If you want by want to locate that web element by XPath, give XPath and its value, and give the variable name of that web element. Okay, so what 2 functions I can do here? One is I can give the username and password and login. That is one function. I can request an OTP. That is another function. I can just cancel this login. That is also one function. So what I have created I have created all the locators for the page, and one function I have created login. Okay. So Tell me. So what I have done is first line of code what I have written browser.driver.get constant.urlb. So what it will do, browser.driver means this one dot driver, browser dot driver, as it is a static variable, so I can directly call browser dot driver. Okay, then dot get constant.urlb, so it will go to here constant.urlb, that is www.flipkart.com. So what this particular line of code will do, this will open me the Flipkart page. Okay, then in username.send keys, this username dt will consist the XPath for this particular web element. So what I can do, username.send keys constant.url.vname. So similarly we'll go to constant.url name. Here you will be storing the username. From here it will retrieve. Similarly constant.password it will retrieve the value from here. Then login button dot click, normal login button. I am also again creating one function. Without login, I will just enter the Flipkart guest login. So what it will do, it will open the site. It will just okay. So let's say for example, if I write this XPath, so it will search 4 elements, but I am interested in the second one. Okay, because my second one is this cross button. If I see first one is second one is my cross button, third, fourth is not one, first one is a hidden element which you can see. So second one, I'm interested in second one. So how to handle this type of scenario? Okay, so here what I have done is I've given the XPath as this value which will return me 4 web element. So once it return me 4 web element, so I will be storing it in the list of web element, because it will not return me a single web element as it is returning me multiple web elements. So I'll be storing it in a list of element, but I'm interested in which one? I'm interested in the second value of that list, because here you can see it is the second one. Okay, here you can see this is the second one. So as I'm interested in the second value of the list, so what I can do is cancel dot get. To get the second value of the list, I have to write what? 1, because index start from 0. 1 dot click. Let's give some time here. So you can see I can use this particular class to implement what? Time factor. So I can create an object of that particular class and I can use the method of that class rather than writing the whole lines of code. Okay, see here you can see alert accept, alert text, cancel alert, everything will come. So I can use the wait function, normal wait, or any wait you can use. Let's say for example I'm using normal wait. Okay, see how it become too easy because that lines of code got reduced. So this is my first page. Let's say, for example, I'm creating a second page. Just remove. Okay, let's say I'm creating a second page in which what that particular do after login, it click this one, it will search for TV here and it will click enter. Once it click enter, I'll check that the particular page which show me the search result consist the television search result rather than the other search result. Okay. So the first thing what I'll be doing is I'll be writing an XPath for this particular thing. Control C. Red title. Search for product. Okay, so what I can do is I can just take that particular XPath value and what I'll be doing is I'll be just using this particular field to search my particular desired value which I want. Okay, so for that what I'll be doing is I'll be creating an I have just captured the locator. I'm creating one function like search TV. Then what I can do is dot send case TV. Okay. So once I search, what I'll be doing, I'll be creating we have read it how to handle our keyboard operations in actions and robot class. So here I will be entering the value and clicking enter. So I'll be search for enter. Okay, so it will click enter. So once it click enter, so what I'll be doing is releasing that button because the enter will be get pressed if I don't release it. So here home page. This page is my home page. Okay. Now my next step is, after I search something here, like say for example I search TV and clicked enter, so it will go to another page which I can say is the search page, search list page. Okay, so let me create another page again. So each page you will be creating a separate Java class, and in that Java classes you will be holding all the locators and all the functions that can be done in that particular say is the page. Okay, so here I can give search result is again. What I can do, I can use the wait by creating using this particular function in that page also. Control C. Now in my search result page, what I'll be doing is I'll be checking that this particular text which is present is television or something else. If it is television, so it will be showing me the result, search result as television. Okay, let's capture that particular XPath. We can also check like this particular link is present or not. If this particular link is present, so what we can do, we can like know that yes, it is in the television search list. Okay, that validation also we can put text is equal to televisions. Okay, so it has 4 area. So we can use it because once the search result for television is present, so it will have multiple links which have the value television. So what we can do is I can use that value here, search result, control V. So once I use that, so it will be returning me a list of web element. Okay, so again I have to store it in a list of web element. So what I can do, if a single link is also present which consists of text television, then this particular list value size will be greater than 0. So that particular thing we can check, like we can check the list size. If list size is greater than 0, that means a single link is present who's have the television in it. That means it is present in the television search list page. Okay. So here you make it boolean because I will take this value in my test script. What is returning, true or false? Okay. So if any link is present whose have the text television, then it will return me true, else it will return me false. Now comes, we'll design a test case. So for designing a test case, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating another package, and inside that package we'll be creating another class where we'll be calling all the functions from these pages to design a particular test case. See, so first thing what I'll be doing here is I can create the object of all the common classes which I have, Selenium generic classes which I've created here, which I'll be using as per my convenience. If I will be using, I'll be using it. Else if I don't want to use, I will not be using it. Okay. So just remove these three because these three are not my concern. So I'll be creating an object for home page. Then I'll be creating an object for search result page. Okay. So what I can do is the value which I am passing here in the home page, that I can parameterize. Let's say for example, I can parameterize it as string s. So here I can pass s. And this particular value I will retrieve from the Excel sheet. So you'll see how we can parameterize the value in the Excel sheet rather than hard coding it in the code. Okay. So see, the first thing what I'll be doing is at the rate before test, I'll be just having the time stub using the Java functions and creating one reporting, that is extent report, which will I be using here. Okay, TestNG will create its own data, means reports by default, which we have already seen. But here, what I'll see is I will create a extent report, which is a new type of report we'll be learning. Okay, so for that I have created two variables. One is extent test and extent report. Okay, so in test script, what I have done is I have just instantiated that report. So what I have done, browser.report, which come from this report as it is a static. So now I have created two variables. You can say one is test, one is report. So I'll be using this particular variable to create the extent report for this run. Okay, so first thing I'll be creating a timestamp variable where I will be storing the value using the Java functions, the particular date, time, year, and hour, minute in which I am doing the automation run. Then what I'll be doing is in string destination, what I'll be doing is report.timestamp. I'm creating another string variable where I am just concatenating the report string with this timestamp. Because why I am doing this is here, because timestamp will always return me a unique value, so that when I run a automation run now and run a automation run tomorrow, it should not overwrite that one. It should create a fresh report again with a different location depending on this timestamp which I am generating. Okay. Chalo. Abhi, so what we'll be doing is then browser.report I am just instantiating by new extent report system.get property user.directory. It will return me the current directory in which this particular project is present. Then extent report, then destination one, this particular variable, then extent report.html. So what it will do, it will create a extent report in this particular location only. Now comes my before class. In before class, what I'll be doing is driver is equal to browser.get browser. So what is the get browser? This is the get browser is this particular method which will instantiate my browser depending on the value of the browser present in constant.java. Got my point? So it will instantiate me the browser. Then I'll be using driver.manage.window.maximize. It will be maximizing the browser. Now I will be instantiating the variable for the pages I have made. For login page, I have made a variable login page that I'll be instantiating using page factory.init element. This is the syntax for instantiating the object of the pages you have created for the application. This is the syntax because you have here used @find by. So you will be instantiating using page factory.init elements. Then you'll be passing the driver as argument and login.class the class name. Okay. Similarly, I can instantiate home page. Okay. Similarly, I can instantiate the search page. Okay, so I have instantiated my 3 page which I have created. Then I will call the method log1.configure. So what it will do? It will call this particular method configure. So here I am just giving the configuration syntax, that is property configure and basic configure, which we have read in our previous classes. Then log1.info, I'm using that method, this info method, and I'm printing my first line in the, you can say, log, that is test case execution for Flipkart started. Okay. Then here comes my @test. Here I'll write the actual test which I want to automate. Okay. So for these particular 3 lines, what it will do is, this is the syntax to capture my function name in runtime. Like say now I see it's md indexing.tc01, but in runtime, how it will capture? For example, there is multiple @test. For logging purpose, I'm using this particular value variable. So if this @test is executing, it should contain this value. If another @test is executing, let's say for this one, then this should contain this value. So in runtime, I'm capturing the function value so that that particular will be used for logging purpose. So these 3 particular lines of code will means return me the function value in runtime. So once I retrieve the value in runtime in my variable name value, what I can do is I can instantiate the test variable which I have created here. Like say for example, this extend test by this syntax, the report which I have instantiated in the starting of this class. See this one, I will be using this particular value, a report.startTest, and passing the value. So it will pass MD, let's say for example, test case 01 only in my runtime. Okay. So once it is passed, so it will be means once it is created, means I have instantiated the test variable. Then what I can do, I can use the login one to log or something in my log file. Then I can pass the test result like yes, navigate to the specified URL. So this particular test case, what it will do, it will just open the browser, open the link in the browser, and it will check that yes, this is opening successfully, and it will log it in the report and the log file. Now let's say for example, I am writing my second test case, in which I will do is go to that and search for TV and see that it is going to the television search page or not. So for that, similarly, I'll designing one test, another test case, and I'm just giving these values as it is. Then login page dot login, that will, now I will not use login. I'll use this one, guest login, means I will not give any logging value. Now this browser.test.log, what it will do, it will log it in my extent report which I am creating. Okay, so for that I'll be using log.test.log, log status.pass. It will start log it as a pass result, and it will show me the message which I have written here in that extent report which I have created. Now my second thing is I'll be using the search dot, no, first I'll be creating home page. Dot search TV. Now what I have done is I have parameterized the value which I will be passing. So what I can do, I can retrieve this value from dataset. Let's say here I am storing TV. So what I can do is I have created an object for Excel sheet. elif, I can use it. elif dot get Excel data, file path, data sheet dot xlsx. ठीक है, शीट नेम कीवर्ड शीट 1, शीट 1, then row number you give as what, 0, and column number 1, 0 1. Okay, now just close it out. Now I've given the value, it will search me the result. So what I can give is entered PV, it searched. So this one I'm doing for extent report. If I want to log it in the login file, so what I can do is login one dot, I'll be using this function. I can also write this same message in my log file which I'll be creating. Okay, now this is done. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be just calling that search function. Let's say search dot validate search result television. So it will be returning me true or false according to the result which is obtained. So what I can do is I can just B value I'll return as true or false. So I'll be using it. If B is equal to true, it will log here that yes, test is passed successfully. Else it will log test case. This is for logging purpose. I can also use it in what? Extend report also I can also use. Control C. Past fully. Again here use also extend report log.fail fail failed. Okay. Okay. Now what I can do is now I'll run this particular test case. My framework is ready. My everything is ready. I'm extracting data from the data set. I am not hard coding it. I'm creating the reports. I'm doing everything. So now I can run the particular test case. So you will see like we have implemented the framework and our test case will run here. Okay. So it searched for the result. So passed to, so see my test case got passed. So what it will be doing is now it will be creating me two reports. Refresh. So now it will be creating me two reports. So first report will be what my test output report that is created by TestNG. So I can find all the immutable reports and all everything that is present. See two test case and one is test case 2, test case 1, it was passed. Okay. Now I have also created one extend report. So let's open the extend report. So once the extend report is created, now see why I am using timestamp, because it will create my report according to the timestamps. See, today is 2307. You search for 2307. Now see this one. This one is the latest one. So this is my latest run report. I can just open it. So once I open it, you can see it is writing this navigated to a specified URL, enter TVN clerk, md test case passed successfully, or you can see navigated to the specified URL. Okay. You can also use this one. So you are able to understand, right? How we created a, you can say, is a detailed report, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
We are creating a detailed report we can how to parameterize, how to do everything. We have seen it. Now, what we have done is we have run only a single page. Okay, we have run a single page. Not single page, it means we have run a single testng file. So we have run it as testng test. So let's say, for example, I want to run my suite. So what I will be doing is, so if I want to run suite, let's say, for example, I'm creating another testng class. So here what I am doing is, in the first one I'm just keeping the first test case which I have designed at the rate test case 2, I'm keeping it in the second test case. So what I can do, I can create a suite, testng suite for this testng classes which I have done, means created, convert to testng, finish. Okay. So now I will run this particular suite. See, I run my suite. So you can also run suite, you can also run a single test case. It's all depend on you how you'll be using the framework as per your requirement. Got my point? So my new report will be created. See, I have added screenshot also in my report. You are able to see screenshot, right? Here I have added in the test script too. See, you'll be seeing that I have added my screenshot browser.test.add screenshot.capture. So for that I have written a function here to take my screenshot. I am just concatenating this particular function so that my screenshot will get added in the extend report which I am creating. Okay, this is the lines of code to capture the screenshot. See, so these are opening. You can just add at, you can say at the rate after test. You can just add Control C, Control V at the rate after test. So what you can do is, at the rate after test you can add driver.quit. So as you know, at the rate after test work for whole at the rate is present in the suite. So it is independent of the Java class in which it is present. So once we add driver.quit, all the browser which is open for the execution will get closed. Okay, I haven't added, so it was open. It didn't got closed. So you can say this is a basic I can say is the way how to design a framework, how to integrate extend report in it, how to like retrieve data from the data set by parameterizing it rather than hard coding it. I have shown you everything, how to create the log report. You can see also I have also generated the log report here. See, I've created, see what in log report, what I have told, it will get added as per the addition we are doing. The recent addition which we have done, that is 2307, it will get added at the last. See 2307, what execution we did, everything got added, what we have added in our test case. So we created logs, we created extend report, we have our inbuilt STNG reports, we have a number of reporting features with us. We have used Excel sheet to parameterize data rather than hard coding it in the code. Then we created different pages for the applications. It is also, let's say for example, what is the advantage of this page object model? So what is the advantage that if, let's say for example in Flipkart, this particular changes changed rapidly. Okay, so you have to only change in the this page only. These two pages you have to do no changes. That is the advantage of page object model. If a change is occurred in a page, that will be affecting our single Java class rather than affecting our whole script. That is the advantage of page object model. We create different pages for different page of the application. So if any change occurs in any of the page, we will change that in our that page Java class only. We will not be bothered of other Java class present in our framework. Okay, so this is the advantage of page object model. So you got an idea like of in extensive idea how to create a framework and how to write test case, how to integrate it with the framework, how to parameterize your data, how to create report, how to create logs, etc., etc. Right? So practice it and try creating framework by yourself. So it will be like, you can say know a lot of things. Once you start creating framework, you will be a pro. Like you can do anything. So start creating by yourself. I just showed you the overview, like how to create. You can do n number of addition, you can modify according to your choice, you can add n number of things in the framework. There is no restriction. Okay, so I will upload this total framework in the Git and it will be a public repo. So I will share you the link. You can directly download it from that link, and that link for that Git public repo I'll be sharing in my description of the YouTube video. Okay. Please download it from the Git using the way I have told in my Git class. You can download it from the Git and import it in your Eclipse and use the particular framework if you want.